everybody, this is Sherry at djsundry.blogspot.com, and today I have just a quick project to show you. I'm not actually doing a tutorial. I'll tell you what I did, but the project is already completed. But first let me show you what I used. First of all, I'm making ATCs. I'm doing these for swap over at crafthappens.ning.com, and these are the Christmas themes ATC cards, and so I pulled out Christmas themed stuff. So I went back into my stash, and these are some from last year. These are from K & Company. They're the Susan Wingate Poinsettia and Holly Berry layer stickers, and these, like I said, were I bought last year. I don't know if they're still available, but they're from K & Company, so I used those. I pulled out my clear embossing powder, which I don't know which brand I have. I've had them for a long time, but I used that. From American Crafts, I use this glitter tape. I'm not sure exactly what color it is because they're not marked. It's just from American Crafts. It almost looks like a salmon color, but the ink that I used is this Close to My Heart Ruby. And then I also used the Close to My Heart Ponderosa Pine. And when I stamped the ruby color and then embossed it with the clear embossing powder, that salmon-y red color really matched it very well. So that's why I chose that one instead of the deeper red I had originally chosen. I used Tim Holtz Antique Linen Distress Ink. I had these charms, and there's a whole bunch of them, and you'll be seeing them in other projects throughout the season, and maybe even throughout winter, because there's all sorts of vintage looking and not so vintage looking charms in here. There's everything from reindeer and Christmas trees and stockings and Santa Clauses and snowflakes, just full of fun charms, and you'll be seeing more projects. The paper that I used were actually from my stash, and these are older papers. I don't even know if they're still available. I think I bought them 2 years ago, maybe. These are the Anna Griffin Callisto Christmas papers, and I actually have two pads. Well, I had two pads. I only have one full sheet of both of these pads left because I've been working on a big project, and like I said, I've used them some for the last couple years. But the first pad is a paper that has it's single-sided paper, and it's craft on one side, this kind of color of craft, and then on the other side it has these different prints. And so I didn't want the print, I actually wanted the craft, but I wanted that color craft, so I just ended up using one of these striped papers, or one of the papers on here, and I used the back side, which may seem like a waste to you, but I was using all scraps from this other huge project I've been doing. And then on the cardstock pack, the papers were all double-sided. Some of them were solid on one side, but they were all double-sided. And on one side of some of them, they were flocked, and I chose one that was flocked. So one more thing that I used, the Joyful Song from Stampers Anonymous from Tim Holtz. I used a couple stamps from this. I used that crackly background that's right here. Sorry about that glare. That's right here. And then this one is the one that says, well, it says A Joyful Christmas right there. So those are the stamps that I used. So let's talk about the ATC card. So the first thing I did is I cut blank ATCs out of chipboard, just some chipboard that I have in my stash. I cut them to be 2.5 inches wide by 3.5 inches tall, and I wanted the chipboard because it needed the strength. And then this is that flocked paper from K & Company. Isn't that pretty? That nice red. So after I adhered that, which if I was going to do this again, I would do the inking first because I kind of picked up some green on my red paper. But I went around on the edges and I used that green to just so I would have a finished edge there. And then this is the front of the ATC card. Now the camera doesn't really pick it up and you can just barely see it even to the naked eye, but I used the antique linen to use that crackled background, and I stamped the blank of my ATC. And then I took the Joyful Christmas and stamped that in the ruby red, and then I embossed that with that clear embossing powder. And then you can see here I took that American Crafts glitter tape, and I just put a strip on the bottom. I adhered down the stickers, which are already dimensional layers on foam, and then I tied a bow, which of course I didn't show you before, but I used Goblin Green 3 Girl Jam seam binding ribbon, or crinkle ribbon, I'm sorry. And I tied a bow through one of the charms, and then I used glossy accents to adhere the charm. So this is one of them, and all of them that I did are similar, though they're not identical. This one, I had a Tim Holtz Muse token left over. This is the last one I actually have, and I don't know about you guys, but I've had a really hard time finding the Christmas ones this year. I bought these last year, and I've not been able to find them this year, and I've looked several places, so I'll keep looking because I would really like another package of them, and maybe since they're so hard to come by, I may find a couple of packages. But I used the Tim Holtz Muse token, my last one, on this one. On this one, instead of tying a knot or a bow, I just tied a knot. And then this one's similar. I think this is the one I'm going to keep for myself. I always, when I'm making my ATCs, I keep one for myself. And this one is just, again, a bow. So these are my ATCs using that great 3 Girl Jam ribbon. Simple, but yet pretty. They'll be a fun thing to swap over at crafthappens.ning.com. And it will soon be time for new swaps to happen, so be sure and check those out. So thanks for stopping by today, and remember to come back again and see what other fun Christmas projects we have. And in the meantime, remember to take some time to enjoy the little things. Bye.